Sabotaging democracy. Sabotaging democracy. Targeting poor workers. Targeting poor workers. Sabotaging democracy. Sabotaging democracy. Regime change. Scapegoating Eritrea.
No more. Oh, you got it.
No more.
Subjugation.
No more.
Neo-colonialism.
No more.
Colonialism.
No more.
Colonialism.
No more.
Neo-colonialism.
No more.
Okay. How about fake news? How do you feel about fake news? How do you feel about fake news?
No more.
How do you feel about fake news?
No more.
How do you feel about fake news?
No more.
How do you feel about sanctions?
No more.
How do you feel about sanctions?
No more.
How do you feel about regime change?
No more.
How do you feel about regime change?
No more.
How do you feel about the politics of democracy destruction for resource extraction?
No more.
How do you feel about resource extraction?
No more.
How do you feel about regime change?
No more.
How do you feel about divide and conquer?
No more.
How do you feel about looting Africa?
No more.
How do you feel about scapegoating Eritrea?
No more.
How do you feel about scapegoating Ethiopia?
No more.
How do you feel about the Biden administration scapegoating Ethiopia? Okay, you chant. Fail. Let me hear you say it. Okay, we got to go on a key prevail. You chant. Fail. Prevail. 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 Democracy. Ethiopia. Eritrea. Somalia. Freedom. Democracy. Justice. Truth. Freedom. Ethiopia. Eritrea. Somalia. Ethiopia. Eritrea. Democracy. Justice. Truth. Do narratives prevail? No. No more narrative. 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 Done. We're done answering people who we told them all year. We told them this is not about a group of people. We told them
Oh,
this is
uranium.
not about men. We told them again and again. This is about justice, about freedom, about taking care of each other. And what did they tell us? They told us lies. They told us narratives. They told us we didn't know what we were saying. And what
Listen to you
we
get
said
this
back,
right.
We said no more. No more. No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
Who's telling lies? CNN. Who's telling lies?
CNN.
Who's telling lies?
CNN.
Who's telling lies?
CNN.
Who's telling lies?
CNN.
It's the BBC too. Who's telling lies?
BBC.
Who's telling lies?
BBC.
Who's telling lies?
BBC.
Oh, you think Reuters isn't lying? Reuters. Who's telling lies?
Reuters.
Who's telling lies?
Reuters.
Who's telling lies?
Reuters.
Oh, y'all think the AP is telling the truth? They're lying. Who's telling lies?
AP.
Who's telling lies?
AP.
Who's telling lies?
AP.
Who's telling lies?
AP.
I have terrible news for you.
Come up for it too.
Como. Who's telling lies?
Como.
Who's telling lies?
Como.
Who's telling lies?
Como.
You know, Declan Wall. Let's talk to Declan. Who's telling lies? Who's telling lies? Who's telling lies? You know what? Label's too loud. Let's call him Declan. Who's telling lies? Who's telling lies? Who's telling lies? Declan! We're done. You don't like lies. Alex DeWalt. Is that guy a liar or what? Liar! What's Alex DeWalt? Liar! What's Alex DeWalt?
Liar!
What's Alex DeWalt?
Liar!
Salam. Dena. This some salam.
And they're lying because they think nobody cares. Yeah. Ooh, right, because he told the truth in 2011. In 2011, he published an article. Maybe in the Guardian or the Guardian, they told the truth about Chidera.
አሁን ደግሞ አይመቸኝም እንጂ ብገዛሽ ደስ ይለኛል። ማምላክ ከልቤ ነው።
To make them start, to get the international attention. Martin Platt knows, but what does he do? He lies. Let's tell Martin, who lies? Who lies?
ጥበብ ማለት ዕውቀት አይደለም። ጥበብ ማለት ዕውቀትን በስራ ላይ ማዋል ማለት ነው፣ ከእግዚአብሔር የመጣ ጥበብ። ስለዚህ እነዚህ ነጮች እኛ ላይ የመጡት የሚያስጨንቁን በነገራችን ላይ ጣልቃ የሚገቡት ድሆች ስለሆንን ነው። መጽሐፍ ቅዱስ ሲናገር ተበዳሪ ያበዳሪ ባሪያ ነው ይላሉ። ኖ ሞር ባርነት፣ ኖ ሞር ባርነት፣ ኖ ሞር ድህነት፣ ኖ ሞር ባርነት፣ ኖ ሞር ድህነት። እግዚአብሔር እጅ ሰጥቶናል። እግዚአብሔር ዕውቀት ሰጥቶናል። ሰርተን እንበላለን፣ በትጋት እንኖራለን። ስለዚህ አገራችንን እኛ ነፃ ማውጣት እንችላለን። በምን? በኢኮኖሚ። ወገኖቼ አንድ አሳይመንት ሰጥቻችሁን ይጨርስ። ዲሰምበር 31 ምንድን ነው? ኒውይርስ ኢቭ ብዙዎቻችን ቤተሰብ ጋር እንበላለን፣ እንጠጣለን፣ እንጨፍራለን፣ እናደርጋለን። ዘንድሮ አንድ አሳይመንት ልስጣችሁ። ዘንድሮ አንድ ቤተሰብ አንድ ወር ለአንድ ቤተሰብ ከእናንተ ኢትዮጵያ ያለ አንድ ቤተሰብ የአንድ ወር ቀለብ ይቻላል። እኛ ቤተክርስቲያን ይሄን እናደርጋለን። ከኔ ጋር ትስማማላችሁ? በቃ ለአንድ ወር እንቻላችሁ። ውስጥ ለሚቀጥለው ዓመት ደግሞ እግዚአብሔር ያውቃል። ምናልባት ለአንድ ዓመት እግዚአብሔር ረዳናል። እግዚአብሔር ኢትዮጵያን ይባርክ። እግዚአብሔር ኤርትራን ይባርክ። እግዚአብሔር ሶማሌን ይባርክ። እግዚአብሔር አፍሪካን ይባርክ። እግዚአብሔር ይባርካችሁ። ወዳችኋለሁ።
Thank you, everybody. So I'm going to I only have a couple of announcements. And bring it up, right? Let them not divide us. We have the power, like I said earlier. And this is how we can make information. So I'm going to have people come around and pass this out. Scan it. Let's do the information. And in the meantime, you can purchase flags. You can do other things. And then we're going to do the speech. So there are 3 different speeches, not long enough, only 3 to 5 minutes. One in Ethiopian accent, and then we're going to start the vote. And then we're going to head on 2nd Avenue. We're going to turn left. We'll be about 10 to 12 police officers. So yeah, that's the party gets started, right? Let our voices be heard. Thank you so much. United we stand. Yes. Can we say that again? United we stand.
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 No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
Thank you so much. I'm going to give you a 5-minute break and then we're going to get started, okay? Thank you so much. Can you start the music?
Hizbi كألو فتصوم زحلو فتمون وارساي عبورنا وحسن تبيا سكرا مسادر كبرا تخب هزمي إريترا وحسنا إريترا هزمي إريترا نجبانا أورا هزمي إريترا أفريقيا أورا هزمي إريترا نجبانا أورا يزمر بقبري هزمي إريترا
Listen to it from their Eritrean community and something about them. So we'll be in that order. Thank you so much.
እንደምን ዋላችሁ እንደኔ የራቃችሁ እንደምን ዋላችሁ እንደምን አላችሁ እያለሁ ኢትዮጵያ ምንም ከንቱ የሚያላችሁ እስኪ አንዴን ዘምርላት ሆን በቃ እናወጣ
Samsung? Huh?
Your phone's very quick.
Oh yeah.
Samsung?
Yeah.
የዛሬ ወር ገደማ ሰልፍ የወጣን ዕለት የነበረን ስሜት አይደለም ያለ። ዛሬ የእናታቸውን ጡት መፋቶች የ50 ዓመት በሽታዎቻችን ተዳግነው ጣር ላይ ናቸው። ግን ገና ተስፋ አልቆረጡም። የሚተማመኑትን አሜሪካን፣ የሚተማመኑትን ተመድ፣ የሚተማመኑትን የአውሮፓ ህብረት እና መንግስታት፣ የሚተማመኗትን ግብፅና የሚተማመኑትን ፌክ ሚዲያዎች ኑ እንጂ እረሱልን እያሉ ናቸው። እኛ ደግሞ ኖ ሞር ላይ ነን። ኖ ሞር ኖ ሞር ኖ ሞር ኖ ሞር ደግማችሁ ጭንቅላታችን ላይ አትፈናጠጡ። ኖ ሞር በእነ አሜሪካ ሴራ እድላችን አይወሰንም። ኖ ሞር ኒዮ ኮሎኒያሊዝም። ኖ ሞር ዌስተርን ሚዲያ ኢንፎርሜሽን። ኖ ሞር ዌስተርን ኢኮኖሚክ ዌልፌር። ኖ ሞር ዲፕሎማቲክ ፕሮፓጋንዳ. No more military intervention in Africa in general and in the whole of Africa in particular. No more. ምክንያቱም ሰልችቶናል። No more. ምክንያቱም ጫንቃችን ከእንግዲህ አይችልም። No more. ከእጅ ወደ አፍ ኑሮ አማሮናል። No more. ምክንያቱም የሰላም አየር ለመተንፈስ፣ ለማደግ፣ ለመበልጸግ ፈልገናል። No more. ጊዜያችን አሁን ነው።
ጀነራል ገብተዋል።
አሜሪካ
እዛ ጋር ዩኒፎርም ለብሶ
ሊስን አሜሪካ ሊስን ኢትዮጵያ ሉዓላዊ ሀገር ነች። አክብሪያት። የመንግስታትን ሉዓላዊነት፣ ህጋዊነት አክብሪልን። እነዚህ ተፈቃሪዎች
እሱማ በእንትን ነው እኮ የሚያወራ
ኢትዮጵያ ለዚህም ነው ለካ አያውቁም ለካ አያውቁም ነው አያውቁም። ልባችን በሀገር ፍቅር መሞላቱ፣ ጀግንነት በልብሳችን መዘዋወሩ፣ በክብራችን ከመጣ ቀፎ ተበታል እንደሚኖር እስኪ አንድ ላይ ነው። አያውቁም ለካ
አሁን እንደዚህ ቢሆን ኖሮ እኔም ሄጄ አልመጣም ነበር። እዚሁ እንትኑ ገዛው ነበር ባንዲራው።
All right, thank you so much. Now we're gonna go.
أنصار أعناوي بوليسي سرعة بايدن أبقى أفريقيا كنسمع إنا متنا زلنا كلنا كم نفوتو أمريكان كالوت مشاركتان عربوان هاجرات الهاجرات ما من الحين كبلا إذن أبقى كوتوات الحنن اللوان بفلاي أبزيك زيزي إذي إلى بزاقون إسرانتو عدن عمدات كذلبيرن بزنحي كدامي سرعة وياني بإسقاط إيران إيران فوق مراحله أمريكا تقابل بزحير سرعة بايدن الذي بحيث بيزور زموت أولوكي المبعثات قدامي سرعة وياني نفس الآن منزع لعلم تحت الكريم نرئي عندنا عمد سرعة بايدن بكهدي أبايدان وياني حكاز رايزي كوني أبلاني إيران إيران سيف تحوي إدارات ما وسبه يقصون له. نحن الدياسبورا تجمعات إدارات إيران إما إذا عملت زي كل فينا إدنا الأميرات زين الزر وقوضها عزيمتنا نور كلمة تدالينا كم زلنا كلمة اللي بفضل. باركس نايلومي معدي من الإحترام من قصة أمريكا حدثهم نصرني. بخبرتكم የደርኩም ካብ ሃገራትና ኣልዕሉ ንሕና ኤርትራውያንን ኢትዮጵያውያንን ጉዳይና ባዕልና ከነካይ ዓቕሚ ኣለና ካብ ባዕልና ንላዕሊ ንነብስና ንስኹም ተሓሊልና ኣይትኽእሉን ኢኹም ኣብ ጉዳይና ኢድኩም ብምእታው ነገራት ተሓላልኹ እምበር ንስኹም ዝፈትሕኹሞ ሽግር የለን ኣይክህሉን ይውን ኣብ ጉዳይና ኢድኩም ተእትዉ ንዓና ንናይ ባዕልኹም ረብሓ ክትብሉ ጥራይ ኢኹም ኣብ መንጎ ኤርትራን ኢትዮጵያን ተፈጢሩ ዘሎ ሰላም ባዕልና ዝፈጠርናዮ ስለ ዝኾነ ባዕልና ጥራይ ኢና ነውሕዞ
The Tigray People Liberation Front, an armed group trying to overthrow the democratically elected federal government of Ethiopia to gain power. After 27 years of ethnic division, rigged elections, widespread arrest, and torture, the Ethiopian people peacefully dislodged the TPLF from power in 2018. When pushed from the Senate, the TPLF returned to the tactics that earned it a terrorism designated from the U.S. government in 1991. The Ethiopian people were subjected to 3 years of destabilizing, assassination, bombing, and coup attempts, all leading up to November 4, 2020. When the TPLF mobilized ethnic Tigrayans in the military to attack a non-Tigrayan soldier as they slept, since then, the international media has cheered on the TPLF and repeated the mistakes of Yemen and Libya, uncritically repeating rebel talking points in the case of CNN, even going so far as to show a TPLF operative on camera wearing a TPLF anniversary memorabilia, categorizing efforts by the federal government to hold the ethno-nationalist group accountable as profiling and even ethnic cleansing. It's the regime change playbook we've seen played out again and again. But what do we say? No more. In September 2, UN whistleblowers, including the UN IOM Chief of Mission to Ethiopia, have accused rogue UN officials of working with the TPLF terrorist group to redirect humanitarian aid that was sent to Tigray for war. Since July, TPLF militias have used UN humanitarian aid trucks to transport rebels to invade the neighboring Amara and Afar region, which led to looting, killing civilians, and committing widespread atrocities. The Biden administration will not acknowledge these tremendous issues and instead continues to threat the elected government of Ethiopia as equally responsible for inflicting and extending human suffering. Insurgents who began a war to violently overthrow an elected government. President Biden signed an executive order authorizing sanctions, and sanctions are being imposed on Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Somalia. President Biden also confirmed he would be delisting Ethiopia from the African Growth Opportunity Act, a decision that will devastate the economy, destroying the livelihoods of thousands, and embolden the TPLF. The narrative given is that this is to punish the Ethiopian government for blocking humanitarian aid. But a recent joint investigation by the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights and the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission studied the war from November till June, the period when it was fought in Tigray, and found that the allegations of genocide were false. The investigation also debunked allegations that the government of Ethiopia was denying civilians in Tigray humanitarian aid or used starvation as a weapon. But the European states, famous for their historical friendship, support of African independence, didn't like the findings of their report. Last week, they called a special session of Human Rights Council and commissioned a second time period, notably without a single vote from the 13 African states on the council. Why? Are they just wanting, or are they hoping to dissolve the joint task force and prevent it from using UN resources to document widespread devastation of the war on Amara and Afar civilians that the TPLF have been waging war since July? and pushed from their homes while Ethiopia used government's unilateral ceasefire to expand conflict.
ዳግማዊ ሚኒሊክ ነው።
To what effect? U.S. military officials, Biden
ሶስተኛው
administration
ሚኒሊክ ነው።
officials, and recent open are now beating the drums of war, threatening Ethiopia as a humanitarian intervention, as a pretext of war. Instead of encouraging this young democracy, which could serve as an inspiration in
ዩቲዩብ
Africa,
ላይም
the Biden
ስለምለቀው
administration has chosen the contradictory foreign policy approach with aggressive rhetoric, sanctions, and military threats while offering a credible mediator. We say no more.
ኦ ሞር
No more to Biden's foreign policy for supporting insurgency, sabotaging democracy in Ethiopia. No more destructive U.S. interventions based on lies.
ኖ ሞር
Sovereignty, democracy, and terrorism cannot be redefined and applied only when it's convenient to Western countries.
ኖ ሞር
In conclusion, my brothers and sisters, the war against Ethiopia is a war against all of Africa.
መክሹር
The war against Eritrea is a war against all of Africa. No more. No more.
ኖ ሞር
No more.
ኖ ሞር
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you. Thank you.